Hello and welcome to another episode of Mr. NMS. Thanks very much for tuning in again. Well, a little bit of an update on the legs. I felt as though there was some more movement had returned to my legs. That is still the case. I'm able to lift my feet off the floor and wiggle my toes, which I hadn't been able to do before, and I'm able to move my feet from left to right. I know that the drug that I'm on isn't a cure. I think it's just great. I just have to take these little wins where they come, and I hope you take those wins that come for you. When they come, sometimes you feel as though you're constantly pushing water uphill with multiple sclerosis because every time it gives you something, gives you a success, lets you have a break, gives you a step forward in some small, meaningful way, whether it's getting a good night's sleep or not being riddled with pain or not having spasticity for a day or for a few hours, it does tend to take back with the other hand. So I'm just grateful that the legs are feeling better and that at last, for once, I can move them of my own accord. But I also know that the treatment that I'm on is merely just trying to stop or slow down the progression. You can't stop the progression, but just to slow down the progression of the condition. And I just take each day as it comes. I wake up in the morning and sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, let alone wake up in the morning and feel positive. But it's difficult sometimes, but I really do hope that whatever you're doing, however you're affected by this condition, you can surround yourself by people who care for you and who are willing to help you. And also that you are able to help yourself in some way. There are loads of resources online. I can't stress to you how much I wished when I was diagnosed that I had seen all of the things that were available from the MS Trust, the MS Society, just from looking on the internet to do some research about the condition. It's really important, not that you try and self-diagnose, but that you understand the areas of support that are out there for you. And there are different forums online that you can join, that you try and get the support from your MS nurse. And if you need psychological support, to be able to get that too. I know I've said this before, I was never motivated to go to an MS meeting and sit with other MS sufferers and talk about my condition because it just felt too hard. It still feels too hard now to go and sit in a room with a load of strangers who the only thing we have in common is this debilitating condition. But if you're able to do that, if you're able to summon up the strength, if you want to do that, if you feel that would help you, then reach out to your local MS Society or MS Trust, or pick up the telephone and speak to them. I know the MS Society has I think it's a support telephone number that you can call, not every day of the week and not 24 hours every day, but that you can call up to get some help and advice. I haven't been to see the GP very often, but I've been this week. One of the things that I would urge you to do when you go to see the doctor or to see a consultant is to make a list of any questions that you want to have answered that you can put to the healthcare professional so that you can know that you got across all of the points that you wanted to get across. Why not, by all means, record the meeting if it's going to help you to remember what was discussed or what you should do. You can certainly ask them if they have any objections to your recording, and if they have no objections, just record the meeting or take down some notes as you go along and make sure that you get all the questions that you want to have answered at the time. It goes without saying, be on time. I cannot state to you how difficult it must be for the NHS with the amount of appointments they have to have people who run late. So, and I know things happen, accidents do happen, sometimes you get delayed in traffic, but it's really important to try and make your appointment and to be on time. Make sure that you know the medication that you're taking, so that if you're asked questions about any drugs that you're on, that you're able to discuss those quite openly, freely, that you know what they are, just in case that there's something that they're not aware of that you are taking. If your condition, you feel as though it's changing, try and talk about the things that are affecting you the most, or the thing that is affecting you the most at the beginning. Don't have a huge long shopping list of issues that you want to address. GP's appointments, I think they say they last a maximum of 10 minutes. The average is about 7 minutes. So you've got to get to the point, do a bit of research before you go. There's no harm in being able to ask the doctor questions about what's happening with your MS, so that you can say, could it be this? Do you think it's that? Do you think I need to get a referral? Do you think I need to see a specialist? Should I try and go back and see my MS nurse? I think the other thing is, of course, if you think you're going to have a physical examination, or they're going to have to take blood, or they're going to take urine, is to make sure that you've drunk plenty of water. You need to make sure that you're taking, a couple of litres of water a day. That's what they say is the recommended amount. But if you're going for a GP's appointment in the morning and you think you might have to give blood, make sure that you've wrapped yourself up warm. Believe it or not, drinking water and keeping warm makes your veins more accessible. I found that to my cost after having a needle stuck in both of my arms about 8 or 9 times when I had to give blood. Make sure you wear clothes that you can get out of if you need to. I always go in t-shirts and jogging pants, because if they need to do a physical examination, or if they need to get to your arms, whether it's just to take your blood pressure, you need to be able to roll your sleeves up, get out of your clothes, get onto the examination table. So make sure that you wear appropriate clothes so that you can deal with the request for you to get undressed. The other really important thing is you just got to get to the point, but also don't lie. The one difficult thing that I've found with this condition is that you are often asked to disclose quite personal information, but you're dealing with a professional. You've got to make sure that you don't lie, don't over exaggerate, obviously, but make sure that you don't keep information from your doctor that really they should know. I've read recently that they've said not to drink caffeine because that can obviously affect your blood pressure, particularly if you've got a morning appointment. Don't drink 3 cups of coffee before you go to see the doctor, as that could affect your blood pressure. If you need to have somebody there to sit in the meeting so that you can properly express how you're feeling, or the matters that might be worrying you, or any questions that you have, take someone along with you. If you're a disabled person, and this is a really important thing, one of the most important things I would say that you need to bear in mind, if you are a disabled person, calling for a doctor's appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning might be too difficult for you, because that might be the time when you're getting up and trying to get yourself organised for the day. You can't hang on to the telephone, it's just you that's trying to make the call. When you do get through to the doctor's surgery, and after you've got an appointment, speak to the practice manager and ask and explain to them the difficulties that you're having. For instance, you can't get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to start making phone calls. The practice has an obligation to make and to consider reasonable adjustments that they could make in order for you as a disabled person to be able to access the services that they provide. And one of them might be that they'll say, you don't have to phone in between 8 and 9 o'clock. If you phone in at 9:30, when it's quieter, or at 10 o'clock, we'll still be able to get you to see the doctor on that day, because we do have 1 or 2 appointments available. So, but if you don't speak to the practice manager and explain to them any difficulties that you might be having, then they're not going to be able to make any reasonable adjustments. And they have an obligation under the Equality Act to think about and to remove any barriers as best as they can that prevent you from accessing their services, and put you on a level playing field really with a non-disabled person, which is to say a non-disabled person will be able to phone up any day at 8 o'clock in the morning and get an appointment. But you're not able to because you don't get up, or you can't wake up, or you're on your own, or you can't get to the phone until 8:30, or whatever it might be, the reason why you are not able to properly access the services. And they should make a reasonable adjustment so that you're not disadvantaged. So please try and bear that in mind, but you do need to speak to your practice manager about it and explain to them the problems that you're having and ask them what they think they could do to help you. So that's it, I think. So just running through all of those again. Take notes of the appointment, wear loose clothing, make sure that you speak to the practice manager if there are issues that are preventing you from accessing the services that are available. Make sure that you drink plenty of water if you have to give a urine sample, and also if you have to give blood. Don't drink too much caffeine if you can, because obviously that will affect or lower your blood pressure. Get to the point, do a bit of research before you go to see the doctor so that you can pinpoint some of the issues that you want to talk about. And importantly, don't lie, don't exaggerate, and don't miss out as best as you can. Don't miss out any key points that you think the doctor should know. And the final one is multiple sclerosis is a specific area within the spectrum of medical practice. It's a neurological condition. So it's okay for you to say to your GP, who is a general practitioner, do you think I need to be referred to a specialist in this area to help me? Because there may be some specific symptoms that whilst the GP might be able to advise you on, he might find it easier to refer you to a professional who deals with whatever the condition is or whatever the specific problem that you're having at the hospital, and they could be able to better support you and find a solution. So that's about it. Well, it's been great talking to you once again. I hope you found my video useful. I am going to be putting up another one. I'm going to be trying to put up a video every single week. I think next time, again, I'll give you some progress onto what's happening with me. I have promised that I would do a video of me actually out of this house rather than just being sat here at my desk. So I'm going to try and go mobile at some point. There are a few other issues that we need to talk about. I certainly want to give you more of an update on what's happening with my MS, but if there are any areas that you want me to talk about, any questions you want me to answer, please feel free to drop me a line. And if there's anything that you think I should really be covering in my little talks to you online, then drop me a line. You'll see my details will come up here soon. Thanks very much for watching. It's been great talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me. Speak to you soon. All the best. Goodbye.